Hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. You know, I say this all the time, but it rings true every single time. Video games are amazing. What they are capable of, how they affect people. It truly is one of a kind. And video games, being a form of art, people perceive and interpret art in different ways. Now, when I look at video games, when I look at this media form, this art form, I usually only look at it from my perspective. My perspective being a broad and unique one. Just like you, just like everyone else. But at times, I forget, we forget, and it's something we really shouldn't forget. We forget to look at video games from different perspectives, because looking at them from different perspectives gives us a different point of view as to how someone else would play this game, how someone else would interact with this game, how this game would make someone feel. That's the power of perception, imagination, and video games as a whole. Let me give you a few examples. For instance, the military shooter genre. Now, for a lot of typical players, a lot of typical gamers, a lot of typical consumers, when you see a military shooter, you usually think something very generic. Something that's a dime a dozen, not really unique. However, look at this game, this military shooter, from the point of view of a soldier, of a veteran. To them, this game means something more. They're going to be looking at the game and critiquing the game and analyzing the game in a different way than you would. From other people's perspectives, they would write certain things off, not really care for them, not really look too deep into them. But for a soldier, a veteran, playing a military shooter, they're going to see things that we would never see, that we wouldn't see for the first time unless we looked closely. The animations on weapons, guns, the reloading animation, the recoil, how the player avatar holds the gun, how the squad mates in the game interact and communicate with one another, be it on their downtime or call-out signs when on the battlefield. Some things like that, your typical gamer, your typical consumer, wouldn't really care much for. They'd be there more for the action, or the story, or the multiplayer. While a military vet would be looking at a military-based game and see how accurate they got it to the real thing. Another example, look at a more child-friendly, cartoony game. Now, to your typical gamer, your typical consumer, this is out of their age rate. This is out of their age date. You're all grown up, so you're playing grown-up video games. Now, truth be told, when I saw adults playing kids games, because these games are directed at kids, guys. Games like Pokemon and Mario, and the recent excitement for the upcoming game Yooka-Laylee. All these games that are cartoony, simple, and childlike. Now, a while ago, I used to look at those kinds of games and see adults play those games, and I would usually be of the opinion of, why is an adult playing a kid's game? That's kind of weird. But eventually, I opened myself up, I opened up my mind, I opened up my perspective on why adults usually play these games that are meant for kids, because for them, it's like being a kid again. It's reliving nostalgia, it's embracing nostalgia. These are games like the games I used to play as a kid, only with better, more pretty visuals. It makes them feel happy, relaxed. And some gamers just don't like playing video games with violence in them. They don't like playing games with blood and gore, stabbing and shooting. They prefer games with a childlike touch to them, a more innocent nature and display. And looking at these games and the people who play these games from that perspective, well, it makes you understand and appreciate those games and those types of gamers more. One last example. Look at playing any game, any video game you're playing, look at it from a video game developer's point of view. Because there's a huge difference between playing the game and making the game, and if you play the game and look at the game from a game developer's point of view, when you're not trying to immerse yourself in the game, of course, if you're just playing the game for fun or playing it to, well, really explore it and test it, look at it from a video game developer's point of view. If you look at a video game from a video game developer's point of view, a lot of little things that you wouldn't have noticed before, but that you look for with a developer's mindset, you notice the beauty and the craftsmanship when it comes into crafting artificial intelligence, AI, locations, environments, gameplay mechanics, and how these all interact and connect with one another. Looking at a video game from a video game developer's point of view opens your eyes and your mind to the idea of just how complex these games are. Even games that, up front, look incredibly simple, are incredibly complex when you look at them from the back, from underneath, from the side, from the developer point of view. And that is something I would like to advertise and sponsor to everyone. Look at video games from different perspectives. For instance, if you're playing a game that you're just not liking, you're just not having fun with, maybe just before setting it down, look at it from a different perspective. Not necessarily to enjoy the game more, but to give yourself a little bit of mental stimulation and challenge. Look at why the game may be for you, but it's not for other people. And vice versa. Why do you enjoy this game so much, yet maybe your friend or buddy doesn't like the game as much as you do? If you don't understand why people absolutely love this game or this genre of game, maybe look at it from their perspective. What do you think makes them so attracted to that game or that genre of game? When you start to open your mind to all the possibilities, to all the different mindsets, to all the different, well, perspectives that there are about video games and how people feel and think about video games, well, at least in my opinion, it makes me appreciate video games all the more. It makes me appreciate their very existence for what they do for people, what they do for culture, what they do for society. They provide us with experiences and outlooks on life that we may never be able to have the chance to experience ourselves in real life, but in the virtual world, through the virtual storytelling, virtual simulation of video games, we can do things that we never thought possible. And look at it from the perspective as someone who's never done this thing before, or only dreamed of doing this thing, and someone who's actually done this thing, whether it be a job or drive a vehicle, been through a scary or fantastic situation. It makes you realize just how truly big, just how enormous video games are to the world, to the human race when you open yourself up to the different perspectives. You don't have to agree with every single perspective, but you can analyze and acknowledge different perspectives. For instance, you may look at a video game as just a piece of coding. It's just a bunch of textures and models, special effects, computer graphics with some animation thrown in, all that jazz. To you, a video game may just be software, but to someone like me, video games are dreams come true. Video games let me have experiences, let me live out fantasies that are impossibilities in the real world. Becoming a dragon, flying as a dragon, slaying dragons, riding dragons. I kind of have a bit of an obsession with dragons. Being a secret agent, being a soldier, being a cartoon character, being an animal, surviving a zombie apocalypse, exploring a universe, a galaxy, a planet, commanding armies, building empires, solving puzzles, solving a mystery. There's just so much, there's so much that video games present us and enable us that to not look at video games from different perspectives besides your own is really hindering yourself to seeing the truly grand beauty that video games offer us. Just saying. Anyways, that's been a video. I hope you liked the video in any way, shape, or form. If you did like the video in any way, shape, or form, please hit the like button. The like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video. If you hit the like button, please leave a comment in the comment section below. What do you think of the topic of this video? Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comment section below. I love reading comments. To get nearly enough comments, please leave a comment. If you want to help out and support this video, then please share this video on social media, Twitter and Facebook. And if you want to help out and support me directly, then please consider pledging and becoming a patron on my Patreon. Anyways, guys, that's been a video, and I'll see you all later.